Welcome in to a very special episode. You could call it a bonus episode of DC on Screen.
Bonus-ode?
Sure, why not? Bonus-ode, y'all.
Sounds like an extremely dumb character from the 80s. Don't know why.
It does.
Just does.
It does.
It sounds like another name for AC Slater.
It could have been the name of Cyborg's little Cybot.
Listen here, you little bonus-ode. Do my bidding.
In what we are, appropriately enough, in what we're reviewing tonight, which is the Lego Justice League Attack of the Legion of Doom. Mm-hmm. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this, as you have already heard, is my co-host, Jason.
Hello.
Yeah, we can't have an episode without that hello, man.
We cannot. I'm going to attach to it over time.
So a couple weeks ago or last week, I can't keep track of these things.
Obviously, your use and understanding of calendars has come into question in the last, say, month or so. I say month as though it's a thing you could look up and understand. But
right.
We're growing more and more concerned about that capacity.
Well, we've released a news episode since the news episode. I can't remember how long ago we talked about this. There was a clip a few news episodes ago about the Lego DC Superheroes Justice League Attack of the Legion of Doom. I said, should we do a review of this? You said, absolutely not. And now here we are.
Right.
So we're both full of contradictions and confusions. So let's just dive into this thing.
To be fair, we're doing a DC podcast.
Yeah.
We're just we're staying true to source material here.
We're trying.
If we say a thing, it might also be the other thing. If we declare a thing, it might definitely be the other thing.
Yeah, that's we are staying true to the
Dan
source material
DiDio
there.
taught us.
Yes, Dan DiDio in all of his infinite wisdom. Do we call it wisdom? Wisdom?
Well,
that seems a stretch, but
his infinite thoughting.
Okay,
we'll make that a thing.
We won't, but I'll roll with it.
Nothing doing. It's all right.
Nothing doing, Job Turkey. So they've released Lego DC Superheroes Justice League Attack of the Legion of Doom, possibly one of the longest titles I've ever seen.
Honestly, is.
And maybe I'm missing something because this is the fourth in the line. This is the fourth movie in the line, and I'll admit I haven't seen the others.
No, I haven't. I really haven't.
It was one of those where I kind of kept meaning to go back and watch them, and then I figured, I'll get to them someday. And then we started doing a podcast, and then I was reminded of them a couple of weeks ago. I went, oh yeah, those things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, to be clear,
they're honest to God representations of these characters. I would like to know, and would like to have already known before I started using my mouth, if the games or the movies came first.
The games came first because the first in this line of movies was, I think, just called Lego Batman the movie, and it was I believe a spinoff of the Batman 2 Lego game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how that played out.
Oh, fair enough.
Now,
that's how he showed up in the Lego movie proper, right? It's still, isn't it Arnett doing this Batman?
No, this is not Arnett doing this Batman.
Oh shit, who is it?
I can't believe you don't know. It's Troy Baker, dude.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's actually a good segue. This is Troy Baker doing Batman. Now he really he's done a bunch of stuff, but he kind of blew up during Arkham Origins for doing the Joker and doing an almost perfect impersonation of Mark Hamill. Cool thing here, Mark Hamill's also in this cast list for this DC Lego movie. He's the trickster. He's the trickster and Sinestro. We have a lot of other great voice actors in there. John DiMaggio as Lex Luthor and the Joker. Greg Griffin as Wonder Woman and Lois Lane.
It's like a voice actor wet dream, this entire fucking thing.
Nolan North as Superman, and you can hear it too. Kevin Michael Richardson as Captain Cold. Here's the fun thing. Kevin Michael Richardson does Captain Cold, Gorilla Grodd, and Black Manta. Gorilla Grodd took me off so much. He sounds like Tom Hardy Bane.
He really does. He not only does he sound like Tom Hardy Bane, he sounds like John DiMaggio while doing Gorilla Grodd's impression of Tom Hardy doing Gorilla Grodd as Bane. I hope that all makes sense. All I can tell you is that that's how the neurons are strung together in my head, because that's what that damn sounds like.
We got Cree Summer, God, she's been in so much stuff.
She's in all the things.
Rugrats, everything.
Yeah.
Animaniacs,
It's
Tiny
a voice
Toons.
you know whether you
Good
fucking
God.
like it or not.
We have Tony Todd, the freaking Candyman, coming in his dark side.
Great job, too.
We've got D. Bradley Baker as Martian Manhunter and Man-Bat.
Oh, God. D. Bradley's, he's a talented fuck.
Tom Kenny as the Penguin. Josh Keaton as Green Lantern.
SpongeBob,
Carrie
by
Payton
the way.
as Cyborg.
SpongeBob, kids.
Yeah.
Hopping in as the Penguin.
James Arnold Taylor as Flash and General Sam Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of big names in the voice acting world in this movie. Really makes me wish the movie was better than it was, though.
Oh, it's fine for what it is.
It is. Like, I had a few laughs. It was funny. This is one of those parents where you're going to be able to watch this with your kids. You're not going to feel like, there's anything really egregious. They had a lot of fun playing with Batman's character. Like, apparently they just vote in a new leader every 3 days. A new leader of the Justice League.
It's a pretty fluid process.
And one of my
apparently
favorite
Superman always votes for Batman.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite bits of the movie, where Batman like Green Lantern and Flash are constantly fighting over the affections of Wonder Woman, which
I
just
enjoyed
seems
that.
weird. But it was pretty fun, and
It was odd, but it was kind of fun, and I enjoyed it.
yeah, and so there, Green Lantern votes for her, and basically they're split, and Batman goes, "Well, I assume that we both voted for ourselves," and Superman says, "That never even occurred to me. I voted for you."
Of course he did. Of course he did.
So they really play into, I didn't feel that necessarily the characterizations, the characterization of Hal Jordan was dead on. The characterization of the Flash was not to me at all.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. He was a little too kidsy. I don't know what, I didn't see him as a forensic scientist. I couldn't see him as anything other than just
Actually,
almost a kid running around.
I don't remember. Did they actually name him? Is he Barry or Wally?
They never said whether he was Barry or Wally, but they have, I don't know. This thing operates outside of the comic book continuity, so I guess it could be either one.
I mean, it could be, Wally. It could be Wally Allen if it wanted to.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, for my version of Wally, that's not too far off.
Yeah.
He's infatuated with the girl, and he's infatuated with the girl, and he's entirely happy with her.
Yeah. So what they did a really great job of playing on how Batman is, on how he just knows everything, even if he
Bat
doesn't.
Bard.
Yeah, every time anything happens, Batman just goes, "Saw it coming."
Right.
They're like, "How could this be? How this couldn't have happened?" Batman's like, "I knew it would."
Right. It was only a matter of time.
He leads the group into the league into a place, and he's always got the one arm up, but with the cape over his face. It's really a lot of fun in a lot of ways, in a lot of places. I really did enjoy the Legion of Doom wipeout session.
The wipeout session was fantastic. I really, to go back to it, even that one arm, that forearm over the face thing, that Nosferatu kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
If the real character, the real Batman, ever did that, I would possibly burn the book.
He's done that plenty of times.
In this, it was absolutely hilarious. It was great.
He's done that plenty of times in the books. It just looks really cool.
He has, but they make it look cool. What he did in there was the Nosferatu, 1934 shit. It was bad.
That's what they
did. It
did.
was intentionally terrible. Good job,
No,
guys.
I want to be clear here. There's not going to be a whole lot. Basically, just throwing it out there. When you start watching this movie, you're going to pretty much know where all the major beats are. If you've ever sat down and watched more than 4 movies in your life, you're going to know where those beats are and where it's
single
going.
4, any of them.
I'll say it anyway because apparently you and I are more attuned to that sort of thing than most other people. So I'm going to throw it out there right now. Spoilers. We are going to talk about this movie for a second, and we're going to get into some spoiler stuff. Just saying. Your kids won't care because they'll see a Batman and the Superman, and they'll be like, "Yay!" And they probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast anyway.
Oh God, no.
But for you guys who are
kids are more advanced, but
grown ass folks, for you grown ass folks out there who are going to watch everything DC or kind of want to see what this is about because the Lego movie was good. This is not as good as a Lego movie. It's not as funny as a Lego movie, but it is funny. It is good.
No,
to
it doesn't
some
have
degree.
as much Didn't have the same kind of heart. Doesn't have the same kind of beats.
No, it really
same
doesn't.
kind of gravity as the Lego Movie. Less
And,
Will Ferrell.
I would say that if this Lego movie is any indication, this Justice League Attack of the Legion of Doom is any indication of the other Lego movies, they are much more child oriented, and they don't know what they want to be. Like this one does not know what it wants to be because it obviously makes big cracks at the comic book fans and the people who are going to understand more adult humor, but it never really crosses even the Shrek threshold of that. It's not.
No.
They're not making like thinly veiled dick jokes that they know 2-year-olds aren't going to get. No, these are just like character jabs. These are character jabs, and I feel like the one
New 52 jab.
One New 52 jab, yeah. But they also that's what I'm saying about with like General Sam Lane, they go kind of deepish into like government right wing paranoia.
I don't.
Like
There's one honest to God could have taken an entirely different turn in the movie kind of moment with the real question is why are you what is it? Why are you incarcerating aliens?
Yeah,
that could be an entirely different movie as of that sentence, and they didn't do it, and that's not the purview of this movie. But I actually did wonder this. This is pretty much like a tiny little block form of what we're going to get in Supergirl, is it not?
That is.
We're gonna get that.
I don't think so.
Exophobic, I guess I'll have to call it.
Well, sure, that part, yeah.
General,
yeah.
That's going to be one of the main antagonists of the first part of that series.
Yeah. I don't know if will it be? Yeah, I guess he is. He's going to be General Lang. Michael Ironside is coming back, isn't he? Yeah. I don't remember. Or no, maybe it's not Michael Ironside in this version because he was General Lane. I think he was General Lane in Smallville.
Oh, see, that's
right.
I thought you had said the thing about who the general was being played by, and you would have told me both those things. So my memory is no longer good for that.
Here's what it is. Michael Ironside is going to be playing the shitty, terrible father of the Snarts over in The Flash.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right.
But Michael Ironside also played General Sam Lane in Smallville.
Of course.
That's where yeah, it's kind of confusing for me.
Yeah, this is something encouraging about the entire genre of DC on screen is that every now and then you get the feeling there are people that have just seen those shows and don't know anything outside of that canon.
Right.
For instance, Dean Cain is now employed again.
Mm-hmm. He is. So, by the way, Michael Ironside, I don't know why he's only on TV. That dude's a great actor. He's fun to see every time I see him. But anyway.
Yeah.
So the plot of this movie winds up being around Lex Luthor starts the Legion of Doom because he's decided we can't. The Justice League keeps teaming up and taking us down individually, so we've got to create the Legion of Doom. We're going to hold tryouts. It's really a lot of fun. All the supervillains keep getting screwed over in this little wipeout session they have, in which Sinestro and Black Manta are all, and Lex Luthor are. they're the judges.
MCing.
Yeah, and so they kick out Giganta, as we talked about previously on a different episode.
Of course.
It's a lot of fun. So they, the villains are getting screwed over by this wipeout, but they're still trying to get to the end of the course. The only person who hasn't done the course is Deathstroke. He just stands there, and he waits until they all...
he starts out on the same line as everybody else. Everyone else races to get it done, and he just stands there and watches.
Yeah, and
he really is. He's the evil Batman of this movie.
And then as soon as they're all finished and they look over, they're like, "Who the heck is that guy?" He runs the course perfectly, flips over all of the traps,
right?
And
perfectly
all of the obstacles.
10.5 points for style the entire time, and then destroys a portion of the course just.
He destroys the entire course. As he's running across it, he's throwing grenades, sticky grenades,
throwing sticky bombs and shit,
and slicing shit up with his swords, and makes it with style, as Jason said, over to the other side, and the entire course blows up. And they're actually just so impressed by him, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And they check him out, "Oh, okay, Deathstroke, blah 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 blah." Well, they obviously see a threat for themselves, and they're just well, we're all out of parking spaces, and they just jettison him.
It's very specific, even. No, it's more specific than that. Manta says maybe he should be the leader, and Luthor just ejects him. childishly ejects the motherfucker. And then all 6 of the remaining villains are sitting there cheering, thinking that is absolutely hilarious until I think it's Joker, Penguin, and somebody else.
Yeah, it was Joker, Penguin, and God, I can't remember now.
Someone else who was forgettable.
Someone else who was forgettable. Man-Bat. It was Man-Bat.
It was Man-Bat. Thank you.
It was Man-Bat.
And Luthor just says, and we only have 3 parking spaces, and sends them out too. And then everyone remaining on the dock actually enjoys the hell out of that.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I did. It was a fun gag. It was a really fun. There are some really kind of fun. There's some fun gags in the movie. One of my favorites was some weird thing in the last kind of part of the film where some building's falling down. And it's about to fall on like a family, and it's like a mom and a kid. It's 2 people and somebody's holding the cat, and the humans are oh no, and just the cat. It's one of those little like aftershock jokes that are on point. Like I'm a Futurama fan. The Futurama did it better than anyone I've ever seen. That little after the beat has passed, one more. The second time you watch it, that's the part you really laughed at the most, kind of thing.
Yeah,
a couple of those in there.
Yeah, I did laugh at the cat.
If I was a supervillain, man, that is entirely how I would recruit a team.
Yeah,
fucking Wipeout course. I've got Luthor's money.
Be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Luthor's money. Sinestro can build the whole thing in a few seconds. Yeah, man, let's do this.
So Luthor, one of the big story parts of one of the big character arcs is Cyborg, who apparently dreams of discoing with Superman and Batman. I don't know, because he did such a good job. I don't understand why that is.
He dreams of respect, which apparently he has characterized as discoing.
Yeah, apparently they go to a nightclub together. I don't know.
Right,
but so he's late to the meeting, and Superman's all like, "You're good, Cyborg," and Batman's all, "You're late."
Right.
And he kind of is. We have this whole thing where he kind of screws up and kind of reacts without thinking and winds up. It's a kids movie, so he's the trickster has a bomb, but it's a smelly bomb. It's a doo-doo bomb or something. I don't know, but it winds up
really
making
is.
the city
It's a stink bomb that literally makes a fart sound. Again, kids movie people. By the way, the trickster, before he starts going all stink bomb on it, he's sitting there defending himself as not being the Joker. That was actually a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Like, he's like, "No, I'm not the Joker. I'm the trickster.
The Joker would never have these."
And they're like, the Joker just blew up the car. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But so Cyborg screws that up, and he kind of he feels really bad about himself, and kind of keeps going to different Justice League members and talking to them. And he's doing so while they're doing they're doing the little training exercises and stuff. And my favorite of that, Batman was awesome. He's just throwing his batarang and rattling and talking about, how you have to cram all of your emotions down and forget them, because that's the healthy way to do things.
Of course it is.
But my favorite part was that Superman just is like, "You have to remember this little song." And he sings this ridiculous Kansas City country ditty about milking cows or something. I don't know.
It's something about how waking up on the farm and working is fulfilling. I'm not entirely sure. I had the exact same reaction everyone else in the movie had.
Yeah, and he's like,
I don't understand.
He goes to Wonder Woman, and he's like, "I don't know, Superman sang me a song." And Wonder Woman goes, "I've heard that song. I didn't understand it either."
Right. That's all anyone has for him.
I do love that they paint these
Rut-row.
Superman is such a ridiculous Boy Scout, and Batman is such a paranoid nut job.
Well, they did, and even God, they characterized everybody. Wonder Woman's, she's pretentious, but not in a way that's self-aware pretentious.
Yeah,
it's not even pretentious. Just there's not a word for it that I'm aware of at the moment. She's just very caught. My favorite part is later when she sings the song of a fallen enemy or fallen friend or something like that. And it's absolutely terrible. She cannot carry a note. It's bad. But I don't know, man. They had a lot of fun with her too, as far as making her some kind of post princess character. They did. I mean, like the Flash he's he's an ADD nightmare. Green Lantern's this egotistical fuck with this powerful weapon that he. By the way, I love the way the Lego people hold these rings.
Oh God, yeah, that was weird.
Isn't it great though?
It was kind of funny. It was funny, but it was real weird. Like they don't.
Of course, it's weird. And
they don't have fingers.
You're thinking like, come on, you don't even have.
They don't have
two
fingers.
hands. You don't even. You can't articulate fingers. You have a lower articulation point than the average action figure. Why are you? But then, come on, we're talking about.
They basically hold the rings as if it were a purse,
right?
And which, by the way, that was one of my favorite jokes. Was
big clasp, little past.
I think it was one of the characters goes up to Superman and says, "Give me 5." He's like, "5 what?"
They do a callback to that twice. High five. 5 what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
good.
It's one of those things where like I know this might be a movie it might be a movie you have a couple kids over, you have some stuff to do, you put it on in the background, hoping it distracts them for 20 minutes while you can go do some fucking work before getting back and inevitably watching the kids. That was one of those where, come on, even in that moment, you might have gotten a chuckle out of it.
Yeah, it was pretty on point, actually.
It was funny.
It was fun.
They come back to it later where Superman's almost starting to understand the high 5 or the high 2 and 1.5. Anyway.
But yeah, so one of the big character arcs of the movie is Cyborg coming into his own as a hero, and they do a thing where they kind of screw with everyone's perception and make it look like there's a nuclear reactor about to go off, and Cyborg is the only one that can detect that it's not actually going off. Something's weird about it. But all of that to say, it's like the Legion of Doom trying to get into. I believe that was the part, right? Or was that no? They went to Area 52 and got Martian Manhunter. Then Martian Manhunter. That was off to me because Martian Manhunter, I feel like, could have been able to read their minds and realize the Legion of Doom was evil. But they kind of put it in a way where like Lex says, "Oh, I'm your free, we freed you and we're freedom fighters, and the Justice League are evil." And we have a couple of moments where the Martian Manhunter kind of goes, "But your name is the Legion of Doom."
Right.
He's like,
that actually,
Doom for the Justice
this movie
League
is. That's not out of canon for me. Like, there is an ongoing understanding between him and the rest of the Justice League on any version of it that I've ever read, that he will not enter your mind unless you've absolutely explicitly agreed to it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's that, but same time,
they bring it up over and over again though. That like, he could, and he is like when the Justice League is out on missions, they don't have to have some embedded technology of any kind. They don't have to have earbuds. They don't even have to have like the assumed Tony Starkian earbuds that we pray the Avengers films apparently have. They actually can't communicate. And it's entirely him webbing them all together. And he's just got this agreement with them all that he will absolutely keep that sacred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I can get behind that. Then I didn't even consider that.
I wasn't looking for like plot failures in this movie. It just wasn't going to be one of those things.
It didn't I wasn't looking for him. It just seemed odd to me that he wouldn't figure out that they were the bad guys. But hey,
it does. Don't get me wrong, man. It doesn't matter who I am at what point. If I have been locked in a cell and then I am let out of that cell and I have the ability to check someone's mind, I'm doing it. Period.
Yeah.
I don't care what side of the moral coin I'm on. That's happening.
Yeah, sure.
But he's a trusting sort.
One thing I hated.
Kind of fun.
One thing I hated, and there was no call for it. Martian Manhunter's voice. He sounded like a freaking '90s Conan O'Brien character. He was like, "Thank you. I am a Martian."
I liked his voice.
Oh, it was awful. It was like
again.
It wasn't that. I don't care that it's a kid's thing. I kind of I was pretty happy with everyone's characterizations. Really, the one that bothered me the most was John's.
Well, sure, but not really.
Gorilla Grodd really bothered me because I just kept hearing Bane.
Okay, the Bane thing was the one that stood out to me. That was the funny. Here's the striking part. You and I have not talked about this movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't.
First time, I literally have in my notes. I keep sparse notes for these kinds of things. It's a melange of crazy, but I have them. And one of them is Bane. I have the word Bane written down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard it too.
By the way, I really loved when they were trying to divvy up the world. The Legion of Doom was trying to divvy up their world. And Sinestro goes, I call all things that are yellow. And Gorilla Grodd's like, bananas are yellow. He can't do that. He can't do that.
It was
like,
fun.
you can eat the green bananas. Oh man,
I like even by the time they get away into they get around to Zimbabwe and Captain Cold pretty much wakes up and says, hey, wait a second, it's terribly stupid, but
it is terribly stupid, but it's a whole lot of fun for the most part.
It is
like it's not a great movie. You're not gonna feed your mind with any of this. But at the same time, the
exposition is just, oh God, it's in your face.
If you are a DC fan and you have small kids, like really small kids, and you're not quite okay with showing them like something like Batman the Animated Series, you're not gonna hate this. You're probably not gonna hate this. You're not gonna sit down and just be like, oh God, I gotta watch Barney or something or whatever it is, the Wiggles or whatever it is the kids are watching these days. I'm probably still 10 years off with even the Wiggles, but
and you have the tiny nephews, so you're just a couple of years away from understanding new pains.
Well, somewhat, but I have a very young sister. She's 19 now, and I remember a lot of the old stuff, and a lot of that stuff is still in play because partially because she is influencing the nephew, and he's just like 14 months old at this point. So, I've been over to the house, and they've got him watching Scooby-Doo and all manner of hell yes.
There's Hanna-Barbera all over the place. We're fine here.
Yeah, I actually meant to put it on the DC on-screen page. They posted a picture of him kind of holding up his fist, and he's wearing a Batman shirt, and I was like, all right, hell yeah, like he knows what's happening. My nephew Elijah is the Knight.
Damn straight he is.
But yeah, so we're trying to influence them in the correct ways, but. Yeah, I don't know what all's really big now.
To grow up, a child needs a few things. You need to understand what to eat, what not to eat, where to poo. There are a couple of basic things, but, a basic understanding of Batman.
Yeah.
I'd put that right up there with any kind of moral value.
By the way, I hate the Wiggles, and I've never seen an episode or a clip or anything. What I hate about them is they tricked me too many times, because if you look at their costumes, what they wear on this show, they look like old school Star Trek.
Yes, that bothers me all the time.
And when I see them in the store,
the 4 times I've actually seen them.
Right. I'll be in Walmart or Target or something, and I'm walking, and I'll see Wiggles toys, and I'll be like, Star Trek toys! And then it will turn out to be not that.
And there's no insignia.
There's no insignia.
And that one red one isn't dead. And you're like, okay, what the hell's happening here?
Oh, it's just always a disappointment for me. Anyhow.
Look, I have 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
One would be, I hope that this film is at least a precursor, just maybe a proof of concept that Martian Manhunter could carry a film. Because so help me, he could.
He might be able to. The problem is you would probably have to shoehorn in some sort of audience proxy for him if there were a standalone film. If they developed him in the Justice League movies, the audience proxies are already the characters that you know.
Yeah, see, that would be if he's already communicating with other people on part. So you'd have to introduce him somewhere, though, and to do it in the new films, you would still have to have the audience proxy.
See,
he has to read off somebody. And don't get me wrong, there's a way to do that. You can have him in the Justice League films, and still in the films before it, even in that one, you could still have his proxy be the end of Mars. You could have the introduction of the end of an entire planet, and that be just in snippets, the portion of that character you got, and then maybe followed up somewhere in the Justice League too.
Well, I know I'm biased, but I'm gonna go out here and say this anyway. The first episode of the Alan Burnett, Bruce Timm DCAU Justice League series, the first 3 episodes, the way they introduce Martian Manhunter is kind of the perfect way, and that movie draws, or this Lego movie actually draws a lot from that, because he is in captivity, and they wind up finding him. He's in captivity. The government's kind of sanctioned him off.
Which is what you would do if you found an alien creature as powerful as he is.
Right.
Especially as alien looking. Like, Superman isn't a metamorph of any kind. He looks like one of us.
Right.
Instinctively, you would be less afraid of him. You shouldn't be, but obviously you would be.
Sure. But, see, me personally, I would be more afraid of Superman, because I'm conscious of the... like most people are conscious of the ideal that the devil looks like a red-horned red thing, whereas I would, in a biblical sense,
a fan of the silver-tongued, the handsome devil kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, biblically speaking, Satan was supposed to be the most beautiful of all the angels. So in my mind, he's like a very suave-looking, like he's the kind that sidles up next to you. He's the almost metaphorically the operative from Serenity. Like, you won't see him coming. He sidles up next to you and stabs you gently. So I would be more afraid of probably the really handsome dude with the beard who's like kind of emoing his way across the country and then shows up to supermodel his way through an alien invasion than I would be of the large green thing who just kind of looked humble and was eating Oreo cookies.
You just described like the basic upstart indie rock star and his best friend.
I know.
Just pick a story and apply those two. They're going to be there. Look, I would be more or less afraid of Manhunter depending on which version of the telepathy power you gave him. Because in some versions he can only read, but it really is. If you've ever right-clicked any fucking thing, Windows or Mac, doesn't matter. You can read and write. Like, what are the overwrite capabilities of this man? Because even overlooking this film, he basically took over Sinestro's mind.
Sinestro became a puppet. Sure. And by the way, that was a delightful part of the film.
It actually was a lot of fun. But I'm not sure I completely love the versions where he's that telepathically powerful. I almost enjoy more of the version where he really is. Look at the basics of this character, and Martian he's nearly as strong as Batman. As Superman. He can phase through objects. He can fly just as well as Superman or Wonder Woman.
Dude can change his density. He can change his invisibility. Or his visibility, I should say.
Well, that's part of the phasing as well. And yet when he doesn't even have... There are a couple of versions of metamorphosis. You can have the version where you can basically be whatever you want to be, and it doesn't matter. And then you have the versions where density matters.
Right.
And he's one of the ones where density matters, but he can control the density to some extent. I've seen him in situations where he has to expand too far, and he can't withstand it, and that makes him one of the more fun characters because there have to be limits.
But at the end of the day, he has all of Superman's powers for the most part.
A lot of the relevant ones. Like, he could arm wrestle Superman. Come on, man.
And he can shapeshift. That's the problem with Martian Manhunter. That's why it's best to leave him as undefined from a storytelling point of view, because as many problems as they have with Superman, because he is so powerful, you can't really find a villain for him, such as it is with Martian Manhunter, but even more so, because this is a guy who is so powerful, you have to create basically a world ender to even get on his radar.
Right.
To even be able to, proffer a good attack against him.
And like the worst villain he could ever imagine is fucking Lindsay Garfield.
Fire is his weakness. So this is, and one of those fun things, even down to the aesthetic, this is a character, he's been around for a really long time, since at least probably the 40s or 50s. I think the 50s.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look. They totally ripped him off when they created the Vision in the Avengers. They totally, because he's got almost all of Martian Manhunter's powers.
Yeah. And
he even has since we've already talked about it, the Nosferatu cape collar. He looks like Martian Manhunter, but with a red face. So, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that cape's been one of the damnedest things. It's one of those. I think it's a basic character design flaw for him.
Well, it's one that they've actually changed now, but
yeah, that's come and gone. But damn it, man, that is some flamboyant weird bullshit.
Yeah.
you could have just made it something entirely normal, and everyone would have been behind it. Like you could have given him Spike's, like Buffy Spike's fucking jacket, put him in that and some leather pants, and we'd have all been just as happy about it.
Yeah.
Because he's a fun, cool character. I don't give a fuck what he's wearing. He's a fun, cool character. And yeah, like as you pointed out, just absurdly powerful.
And
Point
here's
is,
the thing:
if you can find a good weakness with this character, because his only weakness appears to be two things, really. One, fire, and that's because his planet was destroyed by it.
and two, loneliness.
Yes, exactly, loneliness.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. But that's the point. That's the meat. You look at all that fucking filet mignon sitting there waiting to be written. Is the entire he's the last son.
Yeah,
he's the last any goddamn thing.
Martian Manhunter is a very underrated character.
Right.
He's got a stupid name, and that's unfortunate. And both of his names are stupid. John Jones or Jean Jones or however you decide to pronounce it. They can't even decide how to pronounce it. But it's basically John Jones. And because that's his human name, that's what
and they
he's
spelled
pretending to
it
be
like
human.
between French and English. So
Yeah.
no matter how you pronounce the last name, you get it right. Congratulations. Also, you got it wrong. Poor.
Right. His name, Martian Manhunter, is ridiculous.
It is.
Sounds just completely stupid. But as a character, this is a dude he's a great cross between Batman and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He's lonely. He's just riddled with the fact that he's just ensconced in the darkness of aloneness. Mm-hmm. He has no one. He has nothing. He in his secret self or his open to the world self, he's a detective. Sometimes he's white and sometimes he's black, which is kind of weird. I'm never really sure which canon they're going with because, DC, but it's all very loose.
Right.
I just wonder if anyone at the the police force wonders why he changes races so readily. But he's a shapeshifter.
Honestly,
so
it's one of
why.
the greatest post-racism statements ever, though, right? I can't even remember it, and I don't give a damn.
Right.
Hopefully that's progress in some capacity.
Yeah. But we know he's really green, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Right. So we already hated him. So what does it matter if we hate him on the finite or planetary scale?
But I love the character, and I really do wish... By the way, Philip Morris, great character actor, played Martian Manhunter in Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
And, God, if I could, I would totally just bring him back for the movies, man. He did such a good job on Smallville with Martian Manhunter. And it's not...
As we have discussed, I have not
absolutely,
gotten around to that, so.
It is absolutely not... This is absolutely not a pitch for Jason to watch Smallville. It's just... I think that was the only version of him we've seen on screen that was actually on, like, real life, except for the completely awful TV pilot that CBS, I think, did. Back in the 90s with the fat dude from MASH, David Ogden Stiers, was Martian Manhunter, and you're just going, what? Really? I mean, the voice, yes, but I've never seen Martian Manhunter with a pot belly before.
Nor should you. He's a shapeshifter.
Nor should you. Maybe, perhaps one day, for shits and giggles, we will go back and watch that awful Justice League pilot. But
not even
yeah,
for shit.
kidding.
Now it's mandatory curiosity. Expect that's next summer, kids.
Yeah, expect that next summer because we are about to get into a whole lot of new stuff coming out, and
oh my god, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun and a lot of work, but we're gonna do it for you, dear listeners. We're gonna do it for you, dear listeners. Imagine that my voice is attached to a body that's stroking your cheek ever so gently.
No. I was going to say, now do that as Sterling, but...
Oh, no, I'm not.
But we should.
Anyway.
All right, I have one more thing, a giant WTF for the entire movie.
Okay.
Father Box?
Yeah, that seemed... They call it the Father Box, and I don't know
Why?
I don't know if it was a new technology, like because I think there was like a Batman. There was another Justice League before this one, I think, and then before that, it was Batman Beleaguered, where like they kind of like formed the league. I'm not really sure if there was like a
Batman Beleaguered, by the way, that's what they would call Nightfall if a British guy had written it.
But anyway, we know that Darkseid was in one of those, so he may have had a mother box and then it got destroyed or something. Maybe Batman figured out a way to destroy. I don't know, as I haven't seen those movies. But maybe that it seemed like it was a new invention in this movie, though they didn't. They acted like they were just introducing a mother box, but called it a father box.
Yeah,
so
that's where I got out of the canon, though. Is
right.
If there's a canon where the mother box was precedent, sure, but father box? It
was really weird.
That's both as dumb as mother box and reactionary. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
although Darkseid looked great.
Yeah.
He looks damn good, even as a Lego.
A real quick note. I didn't even think about it the other day when we did the news, but the guy that created the New Gods, Darkseid included, Jack Kirby. He died years ago, but it was his birthday a couple of days ago.
Aww.
So I don't know. I kind of feel
he did good work for Marvel and DC, really.
Yeah. He was. I mean, there was a reason they called him the King.
Yeah, he's
Jack
if
the
there
King
was a Mount
Kirby.
Rushmore, he really might. He should maybe be there.
Yeah. So anyway, nice, kind of nice. I think I actually watched this on his birthday, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, I thought if you have kids, they're gonna enjoy this, and you might too. You're gonna have a couple of laughs. It's fun stuff. Not as good as the proper theatrical Lego movie, and it actually has nothing to do in canon with the Will Arnett, Zach Galifianakis Lego Batman movie proper that's coming out in 2017, by the way.
Yeah, I was confused by that.
Yeah, it's just, dude, multiverse, man. We got to embrace the multiverse of Legos now.
Yeah, I can assume that if you're in any way interested in what we're saying, that you're comfortable with the multiverse idea and that there are contradictory references.
Right.
Because you must have learned to live with that at this point in your life. You just must have.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually met a guy the other night who was wearing a Batman shirt, and I thought, oh cool, Batman fan. I'm a Batman fan. I was like, oh cool. Are you excited for the new Batman versus Superman movie? And he was like, no. I was like, why? He's like, I just can't figure out why they'd be fighting. That was my response.
I don't even know where to start.
That was my response. I was just have a good day.
I don't even know
sir.
where to start. His introduction to it. He's just watched Super Friends, right? That's like the last thing he watched, and then he saw this movie.
It was like a giant, like Neil Adams blue cowl, gray shirt Batman.
Looked like 25 years worth of Faded?
I couldn't tell. They sell those things like that now. So
they do. What up, American Apparel?
I'm looking at you too, fun. Target.
Yeah, not making fun. You make comfortable shirts. I have a few.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, and I hope that that's something that people can get over, because if you can't conjure a reason as to why Batman and Superman would be fighting, maybe you're not a comic book fan. Maybe you just like the aesthetic, or maybe you're so old school you had to have fallen out of the loop sometime around 85?
No, they're just
84.
There are a ton of legitimate reasons, and it's all kind of one expanding set of stories and whatnot, and great. But we're not talking, world's finest, or we're not talking anything like that. But good God.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've adequately done this, and so we're going to call it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a bit of fun. So go forth and have a bit of fun.
You're babysitting. You need something you'll half enjoy while you do your homework, and you have some kids around. Throw it on.
Yeah, and I would say there's no shame in, actually, if you don't have children, there's no shame in owning this. This is a bit of fun, man. This is pretty fun. So
at the very least, there's no shame in watching it. I say that as an adult who watched it.
I shuffled off my shame a long time ago. After this, I'm going to watch Girl Meets World.
Oh.
So it's not good. It's not good. But I have to because I'm a completist.
I have limited time and lots of work, and we're hoping to cover the Flash, the 1990s series at some point. So I'm going to go shuffle off and try to watch an episode of that.
Yeah, that's on my agenda.
It's not about quality;
well.
It's about timing and busyness. So
yeah. So anyway, you guys have a great week. We will see you next week on our newscast, and we're also doing a separate episode for DC Movies That Never Happened, Part 3. Hope you join us then. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
A lot of those movies. Lots of those movies that never happened.
Yeah. So, you guys take it easy. We're DC On Screen. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher, DCOnScreen.com. If you want a similar podcast for Marvel and all the Marvel televised and cinematic offerings, go check out our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall at the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. They're also on iTunes and Stitcher and MCUcast.com. Both DC On Screen and MCUcast are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. So, you can find us lots of places.
Check all those people out.
We's on Facebook and Twitter. We's everywhere.
If you happen to be playing Marvel's Alliance right now, there's plenty of spaces on the Giant Size Team Up Network for you.
Yeah. There's so much going on. This is the time of the geek. So.
Oh, nerd do well.
Nothing doing.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
All right, catch you later, job turkeys. We're out.
Peace.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
O'Reilly. It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.